In the heart of Warsaw's modern skyline rises the Varso Tower, an emblem of Poland's new economic ambitions and architectural pride. Standing at an astonishing 310 metres, it is the tallest building in the entire European Union. On the morning of September 27, 2025, that shining glass giant became the stage for a dramatic and dangerous spectacle that captured the attention of people around the world. Viewers on social media first noticed a lone figure clinging to the side of the tower. It was Titouan Leduc, a 24-year-old French urban climber known in his home country for scaling landmarks without safety ropes. With no harness, no helmet, and only chalked hands and soft climbing shoes, Leduc began to ascend the sheer glass facade of the Varso Tower. The feat was as audacious as it was perilous. The tower's walls are slick and almost featureless, and the winds at such heights can be unpredictable. Down on the streets of Warsaw, passers-by slowed their pace, staring upward and then reaching for their phones to record the sight. Within minutes, videos of the climb began to spread across social platforms. Emergency services were alerted, police cars arrived, and officers kept their eyes on the figure moving steadily skyward, even as they worked to keep crowds at a safe distance. Leduc's progress was deliberate but determined. He has been called the Spider-Man of the suburbs by French tabloids, a title that reflects both his climbing skill and his hunger for public attention. Today's climb was his boldest yet. No one had ever attempted to scale the Varso Tower in this way. For nearly an hour, he hauled himself upward, hand over hand, carefully testing each grip before committing his weight to it. The higher he went, the more intense the tension on the ground became. The Varso Tower's rooftop lies at around 230 metres above the streets below, and above that rises an 80-metre antenna that pushes the total height to the celebrated 310 metres. Leduc's goal, as friends later told reporters, had been to reach the top of that antenna, but just making it to the rooftop would already be a feat unmatched by any urban climber in Europe. As he approached the last few metres before the rooftop ledge, wind gusts tugged at his clothing. Onlookers gasped, many holding their breath as he carefully shifted his grip. Then, in one final push, he swung a leg over the parapet and stood upon the rooftop. Witnesses said he raised his arms briefly in triumph, a gesture of victory in a contest between man and gravity. The celebration was short-lived. Waiting at the rooftop were Warsaw police officers who had anticipated his route and moved in as soon as he pulled himself up. Leduc did not resist arrest. He was led away from the edge and later escorted into a police car. From there, he was taken into custody on charges of trespassing and creating a public safety hazard. In interviews given to French media in the past, Leduc has claimed that his climbs are not merely about thrill-seeking. He says he wants to draw attention to human resilience and sometimes to environmental issues. Critics, however, argue that his feats encourage copycats and put enormous pressure on emergency responders who must stand ready to act if something goes wrong. Today's Warsaw climb has amplified that debate across Europe. By the time Leduc was in police custody, clips of his bare-handed ascent had already gone viral. News outlets from Paris to Berlin to Madrid featured the images on their front pages and broadcasts. Supporters online hailed him as courageous, some even calling him an artist of the vertical world. Yet city officials in Warsaw emphasised that no personal achievement can justify putting oneself and others in danger. The Varso Tower itself is a source of national pride for Poland. Completed in 2022, it symbolises Warsaw's transformation into a hub of finance, technology and culture. Built to withstand high winds and changing weather, it was never meant to be a playground for daredevils. In the wake of the incident, building managers announced a review of security measures to prevent similar stunts in the future. Legal experts in Poland say that Leduc could face fines and a ban from entering the country again, though jail time is considered unlikely. For the Warsaw authorities, the incident is not just about one man's dangerous climb, it is also about protecting a public space and deterring others who might be tempted to imitate the act. Psychologists interviewed by European broadcasters have pointed out that the rise of social media has fueled an appetite for extreme acts. Viral fame, they warn, can be a powerful motivator, especially for young thrill seekers who may underestimate the risks involved. Climbing a building like the Varso Tower without gear is not only a test of physical skill, but also a gamble with one's life. Urban climbing has a long, controversial history. Over the past decades, figures like Alain Robert, sometimes called the original French Spider-Man, have scaled landmarks from the Eiffel Tower in Paris to the Burj Khalifa in Dubai. These climbs often end in arrests, fines, and sometimes bans from future travel to the cities involved. Leduc's Warsaw episode adds another chapter to that story, one that again forces city officials worldwide to consider how to secure their tallest structures. Residents of Warsaw who witnessed the event firsthand expressed a mix of awe and frustration. Some admired Leduc's courage and the sheer spectacle of his achievement. Others were angered by the risk he imposed on the city and the resources diverted to managing the incident. The local fire department confirmed that crews had been stationed nearby throughout the climb, ready to respond in case of a fall or other emergency. Commentators in Polish media used the incident to reflect on the thin line between adventure and recklessness. Editorials praised the quick response of the police and the fact that no one was injured. At the same time, they urged lawmakers to consider whether Poland's regulations on such acts are strong enough to deter future attempts. For Leduc, the arrest may mark both a personal setback and a boost to his notoriety. While he remains in custody, awaiting a hearing, his social media profiles have gained thousands of new followers. Supporters have launched online campaigns demanding leniency, arguing that his act was an expression of personal freedom and skill. Authorities counter that the law exists to protect not just the climber, but the public as well. The Varso Tower incident also highlights the challenge faced by modern cities as they continue to build higher. Iconic skyscrapers draw tourists and business, but they also become magnets for thrill seekers eager to test their limits or to make a viral statement. Security experts argue that as buildings grow taller and more distinctive, cities must invest more in surveillance and preventive measures to keep such acts from endangering lives. In Warsaw, as the sun set the evening after the climb, the Varso Tower stood unshaken, its steel and glass gleaming against the twilight sky. For the people who watched the drama unfold below, the building now carries a new story, one of both human daring and the need for restraint. The incident has already sparked conversations in other European capitals about preparedness. City councils in Berlin, Paris and Madrid have announced that they will reassess security protocols for their tallest structures. Insurance experts warn that if such stunts continue, it could raise costs for building management and even affect tourism reputations. For now, Titouan Leduc's fate lies in the hands of Polish courts. Whatever penalties he receives, the Warsaw climb will remain a vivid reminder of the extraordinary lengths to which some will go for a few fleeting moments of triumph and a surge of online attention. This story is not just about one climber on one building. It reflects the ongoing tension between individual ambition and public safety, between the spectacle of risk and the quiet duty of cities to protect their people. It is a story of modern daredevilry in an age when the whole world can watch live, share in the drama, and debate where the line between heroism and recklessness truly lies. And so, as Warsaw returns to its normal rhythm and the Varso Tower resumes its role as a gleaming symbol of progress, the questions linger. What drives individuals to attempt such feats, and how should societies respond? The answers will shape not only the future of urban climbing, but also the way cities prepare for the challenges of an era in which the quest for spectacle often defies the limits of safety.